Coming at you from the farm. Out in the greenhouse today. Somebody told me I was supposed to work from home. So, following orders, working from home. Yeah. So, I figure while everybody's home, you can go ahead and take a farm tour with me. Right now, what I'm doing, this is like the morning. I've actually had a slow morning. It was raining this morning, and so I'm out in the greenhouse right now, getting ready to open the center table. The center table is maintained at a different temperature, so we keep it covered up with three layers on the front half, but 2 to 3 layers of Agribon fabric, which is Agribon. When you hear me talk about Agribon, it's this woven material. We call it frost blanket. Anyway, that's what covers the center table. There's a heat pad here underneath everything that's on the germination. And anyway, so I'll take that top off there, and everything can get some more light. And then we got this stuff here. All the stuff outside of the tent it's up, it's cold hardy, and it could take, I try not to let it get below 45 in here. At 45, that's when we implement heat. So yeah, that's what's happening in here. So we're going to take a whole farm tour today, and then at the end of this video I will just do a little mashup of footage from pretty much late February all the way through March to current day. And here we are at March 19th, I believe it is, Thursday. And yeah, so you'll be hanging out with the Foulmouth Farmer for a little bit. I'm gonna take you around with me. We'll talk, we'll BS, we'll see how everything's growing out in the field, what stage we're at March 19th, and what we plan to do to get ahead of the weather curve to get crops ahead of schedule in the spring. So yeah, talk to you. All right, so I got the top off. Yeah, got the top off. That's what's under there. This is a heat mat, and it goes the entire length of the table, and it's on a little thermostat. So this wire here is a thermostat, and then the controller's down here. Yeah, so that little sucker is acting up this year. We've got to really be careful with it. I can't actually water plants on it anymore. I don't trust it. So in order to not burn down the greenhouse, we have to water with a pump sprayer, and then if anything needs a lot of water, then we'll go ahead and take it off and bottom water it. Okay, yeah, so a little quick tour of the greenhouse. Everything out on the edges started its life on the table and then got moved to the end of the table, on the end of the table that's still enclosed but it's not heated. And then from there, it's like third or fourth day, after 3 or 4 days back there, it usually gets kicked off, unless like artichokes and peppers will stay there till they go to the field. We try to keep them a little bit warmer. But yeah, so everything out here that's been kicked off the table, we've got successions of brassicas. They're different ages. It's crazy how fast Napa cabbage grows. This is celery, first time ever growing it, and it's painfully slow. I don't know. It's in the parsley family though, and I have never had any luck with parsley. I can grow a hell of a carrot though. So yeah, you see the germination in here. Chard, I don't know. I've always had that deal with chard, especially with the yellow variety. It's the lowest germination of all the chard. This is kohlrabi, baby kohlrabi. These are onions. I don't know why I did them in 200 cells. Usually I just sprinkle those in an open flat. First try leeks. These are like Home Depot seed packets of leeks. Sore disappointment. But who cares? Moving on, you know. I did 2 trays of strawberries, and all I had was some clover come up. And then I did a whole tray of tall Utah celery, and I got two out of 128. So Being a green thumb is about being persistent, because failure is just part of the game. Um, yeah, and then these are beets. They were supposed to go out in the field Monday. Uh, but with the cold forecast this weekend, I was like, what's 7 more days? So next Monday, they're going out in the field. They were supposed to have a freeze Saturday night, and they would have been fine, especially under a row cover. And then I've got another succession of beets here. And then when these beets go out in the field, beets get direct seeded in the field. 2 different kinds of beets. So one's going to be a 54-day beet, one's going to be a 72-day beet. So they'll be planted the same day but grow at different rates, and that way they'll be harvested at different times. Yeah, I'm gonna stop that real quick, make a smaller file. Okay, so things are continuing. So I got my peppers here. I start them in 128 cells. Actually, I got a nutrient issue in this potting mix, so I'll work on that. But they're getting ready to get potted up into 4-inch pots. But I start them in 128s because the germination rate on peppers isn't always super consistent. Actually, this year, most of the seed varieties, as you can see, I got 100% germination. These seed packs were bought last year. These are some Home Depot red peppers, and you get what you pay for when it comes to seed. Anyway, moving on. Fireplace, I think I've used it for the last time. On nights that aren't really super cold, I can just run this, and it doesn't put off much in the way of fumes, and it's really good. This is my first succession of brassicas. They were supposed to go out in the field this week, but due to the forecast, we decided to hold them for 1 week. So they will be going out next week. I haven't even prepped the beds, though. I'm trying to catch up. On the table again. So yeah, artichoke. Never grown artichoke. They are already a crazy looking little plant, but they're going to be a perennial if we keep getting winters like we had this past winter. I'll be able to keep them alive through the winter. And then these are the first, probably only succession of okra. Okra grows really good, and it grows all summer long. So, and then this is probably one of 2 successions of kale back here, mixed kale. And then we got some lettuce successions. So these lettuces go out in the field probably late next week, and then those lettuces will go out in the field about 10 to 14 days later. Moving on down, rhubarb. That's another perennial. We have a perennial bed up front. It's real deep mulch, kind of like back to Eden gardening, if you've heard of that. That's the kind of the growing method we got going on back there, just trying to really kick the organic matter up in the soil out there. All right, and then I got so I'm back. I think I just filled up my memory card. It's all par for the course, but yeah, so the perennial garden's getting the rhubarb. I have some spring onions here. When they get up to 4 inches, they get a haircut, and then about 3 or 4 weeks later, I'll put those out in the field. And then this is the asparagus right here. 4 trays of asparagus. It's enough to do 300 row feet, and we'll see. I'm not, I just want asparagus. I buy asparagus. It's the one crop that I buy and bring to market, just because she grows beautiful asparagus, and I could never grow as much as I sell. Well, I could, but I'd have to switch over to just being an asparagus farmer. That ain't me. Easy. Alright, so moving on. That was the greenhouse tour. I'm out here. That was a loud bang, and my dogs are barking. But yeah, moving it on. So here's sloppy stuff. Towels that got rained on last night. Trays that I've been stepping over for probably 3 months, all that good stuff. But we're mulching this, so we're removing, you've ever seen in all my other videos, I got a massive mulch pile from the local tree guy. He drops off wood every week, or mulch. And so we're trying to mulch around everything, because I'm tired of mowing around everything. Here's my old shed. Got it for $500 when I moved here, and things falling apart, but she needs some love. Anyway, so here we are. Yeah, back to what I was doing. So I have a 100-foot by 16-foot high tunnel, and we'll get into that. I just had to go do the memory card thing. It took forever. A lot of data on there. I dumped it all. Anyway, this is the tunnel. So here we go with the tunnel. All right, so the 100-foot tunnel. Right now we have carrots in the front, carrots in the middle, spinach in the back, and then this is all lettuce, which they're tiny. We transplanted them in a very small size, but they're doing really well. But we needed their space in the greenhouse, so we kicked them out. They got to kick out. This is where I've been getting the carrots from. I'll be harvesting the rest of those and those weeds. It's a bunch of chickweed. But yeah, I got out of control in the middle of winter, and I wasn't coming out here. I was done. I was mentally done with farming in the fall. But I'm back, baby. I'm back. So this here is our spinach. Came up pretty consistently, but there's a couple of little spots where there was no germination, or it went into compost that was almost so thick it was like mulch, so it couldn't come through. But that'll be a good stand of spinach. That'll yield quite a couple pounds. Right now we're still hand watering everything in here. I have this area here does have drip hooked up and underneath, and we have run the drip, but I water it overhead most times with the wand. And this is what the carrots look like. Nice little tiny carrots. But those will be the first carrots of the season. They're ways off, but they'll grow fast now. The days are getting longer, the light's getting brighter. So moving on, I just walked out of the tunnel, so I'm walking away from it now. This field was where kale was last year. This year it's going to be where we put our okra and eggplant. It's 5 beds, 120 feet long. And then back here, I guess I'll just walk on back here. So I got a few fruit trees here, nothing major. A couple plums, a peach, a dead peach, and crab apple. But I got those suckers like on sale at the fall at Lowe's or Home Depot or something. That's not the way you buy fruit trees. Now when I moved here, this whole area where the tunnel is, I put blueberry plants in, 300 of them. I had some people come out, some friends, and help me. I put a bunch of peat moss, soil acidifier, did a lot of soil prep, bought a lot of compost, prepped this whole area, and only 30 of the 300 survived the winter of 2014. That was a really cold one. So, Lucy, come. Good girl. Yeah, so anyway, these are the remainders. These are survivors. And see, they got little buds on them. And I'm getting ready to fill these in with mulch. Really good. All right, yeah, so this is like, I love walking back here at the end of the day. Just this is where I throw the frisbee and hang out with the dogs, because it's just open. It just makes me feel like a rich man, even though it's not my property. Yeah, so the tour continues. Moving on up here, I'm walking next to the tunnel, and this field's on the right of me. It's where the kale was last year. Needs one more tilling. Like I say, we're getting into a no-till, low-till farming situation, but there are a couple fields in our arsenal that need to be managed with tillage, and so we go at it. This is our plastic layer. It's got a bunch of weeds growing through it because I haven't used it in a long time. But I'm going to keep it. I don't know. Maybe I'll sell it. Anybody want a plastic layer? Okay, so yeah, this is winter wheat. Man, you're going to see in my videos a lot. See my house. It's got so much freaking mildew growing on the side of it. But I don't care. Okay, so yeah, got the corn residue from last year. These beds are prepped for direct seeded beets. These beds are prepped for transplanted beets. This is arugula from last year that is going to seed. So that's what seeding arugula looks like. It's pretty cool. Lots and lots of bees come to that stuff. All right, moving on. So we're still heads of the field. We're getting all these beds prepped and cleared. This is going to be 7 beds of carrots. 2 of them are already planted. I don't see any emergence yet. I don't expect to. I'm looking at 20 days or so probably on those. But yeah, we're up here at the front corner of the garden. There's my mildewy old little tiny house up there. And then you'll see I got these string lines around the entire garden, and they are for Lucy. And then the heads of the garden, I haven't put them up yet, but I'm going to run them up the head of the garden too. But right now, for my convenience, moving materials around, this works pretty well. She's a really, really smart dog. Nigel's smart, but he's been really lax since she's gotten come to the property, and he walks in the garden now, whereas he was better than that, damn it. All right, so moving on. You got my compost area behind me. It's building up pretty good. Most of it's horse cow, and I'll be bringing in some more poultry manure this summer, and just keeping it going. So I maintain those piles. I maintain them and turn them for about 3 months, and then just let them digest in place, go anaerobic. Oh yeah, but this area back here is kind of it's still wasted. You see my mountain compost. I don't know, or it's not even compost. What is it? Mulch. My mountain mulch. Yeah, that thing. I'm spreading mulch at a feverish rate in the back. But if anybody needs any mulch, hit me up. I got you. Yeah, don't see any carrot emergence. You know, it'd be a good day to run down that with a flame weeder. Okay, so I left my tape measure out last night in the rain. That happens a lot. I leave tools out. Okay, arugula, radishes, turnips, watermelon radish, spinach, and then yesterday I seeded more spinach there, and then lettuce, red Russian kale, and arugula. So that's what's been seeded so far. And then down here, this is garlic. So this is grocery store garlic. I ran out of money and seed, more so money. But I also waited so long in the season that there was only a couple suppliers that I could get garlic from. So I ordered some from a garlic farm in Washington State, and it's down at the other end. That garlic is pretty much going to be seed garlic for next year. All this garlic is going to go in the CSAs this year. It's going to be delicious. It's a soft neck, but it's fresh. It's grown here. I know it's Chinese Christopher Ranch grocery store garlic, but it's now officially organic, and it's now officially been grown with love in a very bio-intensive soil. So get yours. Actually, don't get yours. This is for CSA. So if you're not a CSA customer, it might not be available to you. We'll see. We will see. All right, so moving on. So I did onions. We do onions by set, and we do onions. It's like spring onions, little bunching onions. We do onions in bulbs. So these will turn into bulb onions, and then we also do full-size onions, and we try to do onions a few different ways. to have some kind of onion on our table throughout the season. Oh yeah, so that's that. So this is the last no-till bed, and then bam, we get right back into tillage. The only reason I really got into tillage here is because we didn't get as cold a winter as I'd planned, and some of the winter kill cover crop that I put in here did not winter kill. And then so I tarped it for a little while. And even then, it had enough energy left in its roots that most of it still started turning green when we pulled the tarp off. So there's still life in there. So I took the tiller, tilled it. Now it's going to get a bunch of compost and then I'm going to till that in. I know, whatever. I'm trying not to create a hard pan, but I do have to beat it up a little bit. Lucy, get out of there. So I'm going to till in some compost here, and then this is where we will be putting our black fabric with the holes burned in it and drip tape irrigation. So we'll put a header along the top of the garden here, and then this is where we'll put our brassicas. And our brassicas, they're cruciferous vegetables. So we got our cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, even collards. That'll all go here. Now there's other brassicas that we don't put with the brassicas, like radishes and arugula. But they're really good for phosphorus uptake. We do have a little bit of phosphorus buildup. It happens because we have an animal-based compost. So we're working on that. And rotate brassicas through all these fields over the years. And the season that they're in, they're real heavy phosphorus takers. And so moving on, this is the newest field in the garden. Now the only thing that's happened to this so far this year, each bed's going to get compost and fertilizer on an as-needed basis. We don't have enough to get this field up yet, but we do have enough fertilizer. So everything gets fertilized on a per-case basis. Yeah, so we got 3 beds, 300 feet of potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and take the leftovers of the potatoes and finish out. So it probably won't even make up a whole row, probably 25 feet of potatoes. But that's just because of the way things are going in the world right now. I don't know where we'll be getting potatoes from this summer. So I'm planting what I got. I was going to give those seeds away, but I'm planting them. I'm on the property, and I need the seed. So anyway, I'm planting out, there's 300 feet of potatoes, 3 different varieties. Then I'm going to finish out a little row here, and then I'm going to interplant that with peas, and then finish the row of peas, and then have another row of peas. So 200 feet of peas. I don't like to put a lot of effort into peas. They're very laborious, very low return, low profit if you don't get them harvested in time, because a lot of them might get thrown out, and that's what happens around here. So here's the ugly house. There's all the growth on the side of the house. I don't care. I think that the guy that lived here before was like a pilot boat, something. That's a radio antenna on the roof that I need to take down because I get really paranoid in bad electrical storms. Oh yeah, so this is a little lasagna bed that we put in front of the house. This is for some flowers and perennial herbs, kind of a side deal. We're also doing the same thing around the well this year, so we're doing like a big perennial bed there for just herbs and medicinals. But yeah, that's the way that all works. All right, so we'll walk up to the front, and before I'll wrap it up in the wash and pack that is super way out of shape. But I'm embarrassed, but I don't care. I don't have too much shame. Okay, yeah, so walking past the garden, man, I love this freaking place. I do. It's crazy how much I love it here. Yeah. So, this is the garden we're walking by again. Everything is growing. So yeah, this is the perennial bed. So this is where the strawberries are getting planted next week. The strawberries came in plugs. They're in a box inside. This is a perennial bed. So it'll be on drip irrigation. The header's at the opposite end. And we will the only thing that's not going to be perennial in this garden might be pole lima beans. I might do pole lima beans in one of the rows. The rest of it is going to be permanently planted. Asparagus, strawberries, rhubarb, artichokes, and that's it. Lucy, Nudge, come on, come. So, yeah, so we've been weeding, cultivating in here, getting it ready. Now it's on me. I don't even know if I told you guys. So, it's March 19th, and for the first time in like my parents' lifetime, my lifetime, there's a global pandemic. I'm on self lockdown. We're not on any kind of like government quarantine in Delaware yet, but I'm on self lockdown because I really want to keep myself safe. I want to do a 14-day span to make sure I wasn't pre-exposed. So within the next 14 days, that's like the maximum incubation period. I should know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm healthy. But during the whole time, I'm planting. I feel like it's my responsibility to get this property up and running. And because Curtis works in the juvenile corrections business, he's not self-quarantined, but he's staying away for a little while. We're just monitoring the situation, see how things go. But he's staying off the property just out of an abundance of caution for me, because we can't both go down. That's kind of the deal. We are the only two farmers, so we're both going to kind of separate from one another for 2 weeks at least. And by doing that, if I do come down with it and he doesn't, then I can lay up and he can take over on the farm. But if he does get sick with it, and I stay away from it. Either way. So if I get sick, my backup man is gonna then institute coming out. But up until that point, it's all on me right now. And I'm not super stressy. This is way too much farm for one person, but the hell else do I gotta do? I mean, it's not like I got plans. I might go play poker tonight. But then, no, I'm not going to play poker tonight. That's the stupidest shit I ever said. I'm not leaving this property. I get so much groceries, food. I'm just safe. All right, so finishing up the tour, you'll see trees in the background. I don't have any trees on my property. That's the neighbor. That house was under foreclosure for years. It was like sheriff sale last year. I think it went for 72 grand. But the guy he's put a lot of time and money into it, and he's got it fixed up nice, and hopefully we get some good tenants in there. But he bought it because he lives across the street and he didn't want to see the neighborhood go to shit. So that's how that goes. I have some bees under that cedar tree, but they are no more. They absconded or died this winter. I'm not a great beekeeper. They were free bees. They were the kind that show up one day. So I'm going to move that hive to another part of the property and try to fill it up with bees again this year. All right, moving on. So I'm going to get ready to climb up on top of this and do like a bird's eye view. But this is the entry road to the farm, just a little path. It's called Jumping Jack Lane. It's a 50-foot right away, or 50-foot, 50-foot strip of property that gives me frontage on Marshall Street. But anyway, that's where you enter from. If you're coming to pick up vegetables here, because I'm going to do arm farm pickup with a little honor box, I'm going to have a table set up either underneath that maple tree or underneath this cedar tree, because there will not be a beehive there, and there's no bees in it anyway. But I would like people to not come much further than this crossover point. So when you get, because I just don't want people on the farm right now. I want to keep the food secure. So I want people to stop at the pavement line, and you can pull off the side of the driveway. You can even pull into this little march area, so you just go just past the pavement line. You pull in this little mulch area. You won't sink, you won't get stuck, but then you can turn around to back up and turn around. I don't want anybody backing out of the driveway. That's dangerous, even though there's not much traffic on the road these days. Don't back out. Go ahead, pull up, do a little 3-point turn, okay? So this This is how you get on the farm, and this is how I'm going to get the veggies to you without actually coming in contact with the masses. I'm going to have them separated on the tables. I'm going to have to abuse plastic bags. But you know what? Food safety is way more important than the environment at this point in time. As a matter of fact, the environment is getting hooked the fuck up because our dumbasses are staying in and not beating her up too bad. It's kind of nice for her. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna run up on this mulch pile without breaking any bones. Oh shit! All right, so I'm up on the mulch mountain. It's a huge mulch mountain, but this is Ray's place over here, and you see all the trash and debris that's blown out. He maintains a dumpster over there and doesn't put a lid on it, so I have to deal with that. But it's okay. It's give and take, because I like having the fence up here. I like having it not being a vacant property, and you know, Ray's a concrete guy. Concrete guys are good to know. So yeah. But this is my mulch pile, and I'm getting ready to do a bunch of hybrid willows up here at an interval of about 6 feet. Unless I get some kind of pines, like fast-growing pine that go between them. We will see. So far, I haven't seen any seed for that. Dodge! But anyway, yeah, this is my mulch pile. And it goes all the way down to the end of the fence is where my property stops. And then you get the compost area. And then you get the tunnels. And the garden and the lane. So that's the whole farm tour, and I hope I didn't bore the hell out of you running my mouth. But if anybody needs any mulch, holla. And if anybody needs any vegetables, holla. And holla holla. Nudge. Oh shit. What is that? What are you doing?